Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Essential Wellness Podcast, Essential Oils and Everyday Wellness. This is formerly the Visionary Leaders Podcast, and I'm your host, Aisha Harley, and this is your go-to spot for real talk, trusted tips, and everyday solutions with doTERRA Essential Oils. We are here every Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, or you can catch the replay anytime on YouTube, Apple Podcast, or Spotify. And don't forget to sign up for the weekly drop at essentialwellness.life so you never miss a thing. And if you love what you hear today, please share this episode or invite a friend to listen with you. Today's topic that we're so excited about is the new doTERRA castor oil. We're breaking down why this launch is such a big deal and how to actually use it in your daily routine. What makes doTERRA's castor oil different? It is certified USDA Organic, it is cold pressed, it is hexane-free, and most of all, it is CPTG tested. It is rich in ricillinic acid. I don't think that came out quite right. Which means it has better absorption and soothing power. It also doubles as a carrier oil and a very active wellness tool. And you are going to want it because it's going to help with your hormone balance. It's great for menstrual support. It helps with lymph and gentle detox. It nourishes your skin, your hair. It can help grow your lashes, your eyelashes, and your eyebrows. It also will help release tension and targeted inflammation relief. We are going to share our favorite blends, real experiences, and expert tips so you know exactly how to use it. Whether you're brand new or already curious, let's dive in. So, Erin, I'm going to pass the call right on over to you.
Thanks, Aisha. Hi, everybody. Good morning and happy Monday. My brain and my heart is like, oh, there's so much to talk about when it comes to castor oil. If you've been coming to our calls for a while, you know that we often recommend castor oil. And up until now, we've probably told you to go to Amazon and buy the Heritage Store brand. And now we have our own from doTERRA, which is just thrilling. So we're going to dive into sharing about the castor oil, but I first just want to center us in, a big question that people have is like, well, what's different about the doTERRA castor oil? Why should I buy the doTERRA castor oil? Why can't I just use the one at the grocery store or the one that I have in my refrigerator? And there's a couple of key points that I want to just center us into and ground us into. One that's really important to remember is if you have a bottle of castor oil that's been sitting in your cabinet for over a year, it's probably rancid. So go throw that one out. And also, if you buy a castor oil from the grocery store or on Amazon, it could very likely be rancid also, but not with doTERRA, because doTERRA gives us that certified pure tested guarantee. So you know that the plant material is going to be totally pure. We've got that certified organic USDA grade, and doTERRA brings in the co-impact sourcing element. So I don't know if we've really heard a lot about this, but I was doing some digging into, well, where's our castor oil coming from and what's that all about? And so on top of all those good things we talked about, like hexane-free, amber glass bottle, certified tested grade, high in the ricinoleic acid.
Ricinoleic.
Ricinoleic acid.
And it's cold pressed. That's how
Cold pressed. All those things, which are yes, 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 so, so good. Then we come to, well, the co-impact sourcing aspect. And so the doTERRA castor oil is being sourced from India, where a lot of castor oil is sourced. And what's unique about doTERRA is, of course, they found a way to not only do good by bringing us the castor oil, but do good by the farmers. So there are lands in India that are monsoon lands. So it'll be really, really wet and then really, really dry. And usually those lands can't be used to grow anything. But guess what grows there? Great, castor oil. So we're able to support these small farmers in growing the castor oil. We're able to pay attention to the quality and the purity, and we get all the benefits of that. So if you're curious or anybody asks you, well, what's so special about doTERRA? I really sum it up with nobody is doing this attention to the small scale farmers that doTERRA is, and then combining that with the certified pure tested grade.
Yeah.
So you really know that you're getting the best of the best of the best.
And Erin, in diving into that, if y'all want to go to Source to You and check out now about the castor oil, there's the deeper information, right? About what that is looking like and the difficulty of supporting these small farmers with this in these arid lands where the castor oil grows and how they have to give a lot of attention. And there's a lot of communication. And it takes that level that doTERRA gives and CPTG gives in terms of that kind of sourcing. So I just want to say that, reading more about it, I get why there can be some more questionable aspects to castor oil. It's not that easy, actually. It grows in super arid land, but that's not a simple farming technique, actually, to work with over time. There's a lot of things that can happen, droughts, monsoons, and you have to really work with the farmers if you feel like you want to be supporting them in a way where they have a living and a guaranteed wage.
Yeah, and since castor oil's a social media viral product right now, then a lot of the castor oil companies are possibly incentivized to cut corners.
Yeah.
We know doTERRA is not going to do that. So whenever you see a product that everybody's sharing on social media and everybody wants it, then you really have to follow the sourcing practices to make sure you're getting a good quality one. Like before we started this call, we were talking about the heart patches. And yeah, you can just go on Amazon and Google heart patch castor oil and you'll get a bunch. But you have to be an educated consumer and ask, well, where's it coming from? Is it organic? What are the sourcing practices for everything that I'm purchasing? And that's one of the reasons that we all feel so good about doTERRA is we can take that aspect of our brain and turn it off and be like, well, if I'm buying it from doTERRA, I know they're paying attention to sourcing, quality, purity, and the people they're working with in these different countries, they're also taking care of. And that's a relief as a purchaser.
Yeah. We have a question on the Diane's asking do we know what part the plant comes from? And yes, we do. It's this cool looking plant. And it's spiky and red. It reminds me of I don't know if you've ever been to Hawaii or those places, orangutan, or I think that's the red little, it's about like ball like this big and it's all spiky and it's the seed inside.
Yes, so we want to talk about all the amazing ways that we use castor oil and also hear some testimonies. So do you want to tell us the doctory?
Doctory stuff?
Yeah, the doctory castor oil.
Sure. I know, and I want to hear you talk because I loved how you were bringing those things together from the co-impact sourcing and then saying, oh, there's plant medicine here in the way that this is grown and then how we're using it on our skin. So that's going to be deeper in the conversation. So hold on, everybody. Um, yes. What do we love about castor oil? It is nourishing and it is working with incredible amounts of moisture and nourishment for our skin. In terms of what naturopaths have been using for, years and years, for 100 years plus, is the idea of they didn't have the testing for a long time. It was kind of old plant medicine and wisdom around it helping and working with the immune system and the lymphatic system and being a major facilitator for detoxification. And so we always worked with castor oil packs in when we would do cleanses and detoxification protocols with people, and even for pain and inflammation on specific joints. So bursitis in the shoulder or a knee problem, you could work with the castor oil pack there. And that was our wisdom medicine. And then there was studies done, and what it showed was that ricinoleic acid and the castor oil was greatly enhancing the white blood cell lines in our immune system. So we saw that bump, like it's very much helping that levels of the immune system really in a beneficial way, and strengthen and be more functional. And then also in terms of the lymphatic system, helping the lymphs and the lacteals to be more efficient. So those would be the take homes. I like when we were kind of digging in. Can I read a little bit, y'all? Yeah, I just want to read because I think it's better that way about what we like it for and what it's doing. The power of racinoleic acid in castor oil is it's a unique fatty acid that's not found in any other plant. So that's another thing, is it's not well researched and it's incredibly unique. So I think the research is going to be more coming. What it has shown so far is to improve skin barrier hydration, right? And reduce the transepidermal. So the epidermis is our top layer of skin, water loss. And so that's, we're seeing that in all of the beauty aspects. This means that the castor oil helps your skin hold on to moisture more effectively, and it reduces water loss. Um, it is also very much known for supporting the nervous system and our vagal tone. So when we talk about why is everyone doing this patch with the castor oil in the belly button, right? And that's a really good question to ask. So the navel region is a hub for nerve endings and fascia that connect to your vagus nerve, which is your body's main parasympathetic nerve, right? So when we say sympathetic and parasympathetic, that parasympathetic, that's the rest and digest. That's that calming, it's the brakes on the nervous system. So it promotes rest and digest, calms the nervous system. So what are you going to see? What kind of things are you going to see when you support this? You're going to see healthy and better sleep. You're going to get support of your whole GI and your bowel regularity. You're going to see hormone balance. And it gets enhanced when you work with the essential oils. It's that, my famous Dr. Josie twofer. So I just do one great thing when you can do two together and they synergistically amplify. Um, Let me see if I have any other little things that I like, people have heard the word humectant. That's another way of saying helping to drawing moisture in. So we see castor oil and the ricinic acid being as a humectant for the skin, and it's an occlusive. So not only does it draw moisture in, it locks it in. It makes it ideal for dry, irritated, or aging skin, which who has that? I don't know. And I'm just saying, most of it supports collagen and elastin by protecting the skin's lipid layer, and it reduces dermatitis and skin irritation. It's rich in vitamin E, and it has the omega-9 fatty acids in the ricinoleic acid. So that's some of the tidbits of why we love it.
Yeah. So some things that I use castor oil for, and we'd love to hear from some of the others on the call. I love to use it for constipation. And
Yeah.
while you were talking, I was like, oh, is that why it works? Is it keeping moisture in the gut?
Mm.
And that's helping to move the bowel better?
It could. I mean, I don't think we've been shown that, but that's a great hypothesis. Yeah.
So
Or
at night,
it's
so
helping just the liver and all of the
Mhm.
detoxification pathways and the lymphatics. And that in turn is then helping, yeah.
Probably a
Hmm.
little bit of all
All
of
of it.
it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if you struggle with constipation, you could do a castor oil pack at night before bed. You could add essential oils to it. That's a lot of what we've always talked about. And now doTERRA is starting to promote that as well. So my favorite one to use is Zendocrine. And now I can't wait to try it with the new detoxification blend. Yeah. Have you done a castor oil pack with that yet? The
I
Revita?
just got it, and I'm just tonight is going to be my first night. I'm so
Woohoo!
excited because look, everybody. So there it is.
I have to say
Nice.
that Aisha and I did belly patches yesterday with it,
Yes.
and I am loving the smell of the Revitazine. It is, I'm going to use it aromatically too with the ginger. It just is gorgeous. And I'll report back on how I feel pretty good today. So we'll
So that's
see.
good.
I'm excited to hear, I was excited to hear you, Dr. Josie, of all the good things
Yeah.
I just did for my belly button and my body. Well, putting it in my belly button for my body.
Hey, can I do a
Yeah.
detour here just off of that? Has
Yeah.
everyone tried the Revitazine? Do people
Not
want to know,
yet.
like, from us what we think of it? It was kind of like Slim and Sassy to Metapower. What are the shifts? And this is from Zendocrine to Revitazine. What do we notice? And my first thing, I'll say exactly what you just said, Ari, is it is juniper, I would say more juniper berry forward than Zendocrine. And for those of you who are the cilantro haters, I would say that is definitely more in the background. It's a lot and a little bit less geranium, a little less noticeable too.
And I would say that I've been using juniper berry from a pro tip from an aromatherapist for brain fog and mental clarity. And I had never used it that way before. And I have to say, when I kept smelling the Revitazine and it added the same feeling to me. Like I was like, oh yeah, it's
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
great aromatically.
Anyway, so that was a little diversion. Let's get
Awesome.
back.
Yeah.
You know
Okay.
how
So
that
I just
goes.
wanted to
Taking a little side road.
run through some of the common ways we use
Yeah.
castor oil. So, constipation, if you have menstrual cramps
Oh yeah.
or fibroids or anything going on in the womb area, the digestive stomach area, it can be great for that. We use it in beauty. So I like to put it on my face before bed as a humectant. But while you're there, you want to rub it on your eyebrows and your eyelashes because it also grows hair, which is cool. And I've come to really be one with the castor oil. I'm not very worried about how sticky it is and icky and gooky. I'm just happy to get it on. Um, it's helpful with joints. So personally, I have osteoarthritis in my fingers, and I developed a muconoid cyst in one of my fingers. And I've been massaging the castor oil in at night with essential oils like frankincense and birch and helichrysum. And then I do a infrared lamp on top of that.
Mm.
And it really gets the joints moving, and I feel so much better when I wake up in the morning. So you could also do that on like a hurt knee or lower back pain or a shoulder pain.
Erin, can I
The
interrupt you
infrared, they have
just for a moment?
infrared little pads, or you can just do a heating pad.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
just I just want to really emphasize what Erin just said here because this is really important. We all know the different oils for different results, right? So like she was saying, different oils for joint pain or a different oil for your digestion or detoxification. So the main take home here is using the castor oil with whatever oil you need to get the result that you want and apply it to the body part that you need to apply it to. So we're giving you all these ideas, but then you can customize it for your own specific need. So if you have knee pain, you could wrap your knee at night with some deep blue and rub the castor oil over it. I've been putting it over my belly. So I just want to point that out so there's no confusion. You can use any oil you want and just think about, okay, what's going on with me right now? How do I need support? Bring that oil in and then layer it with the castor oil. Okay, back to you, Erin.
Yes. And in the chat, Rebecca was saying, what if we mixed it with coconut oil so it's less sticky? I hear, and I haven't gotten my castor oil yet, that the doTERRA castor oil is less sticky. Is that right?
It's
Those of you that have it?
way less sticky.
Yes.
Yes.
It's
And
quite nutty.
yes.
It's
hmm
lovely.
It's really nice. So I think you'll be pleased, Rebecca. It's lovely. And I just made actually a face serum. I got this beautiful large bottle with a rose quartz top, and I mixed it with a bottle of Immortelle or a whole bottle of Immortelle because why not? And then I put in Yarrow Palm, and then I topped it off with the castor oil, and the texture is dreamy. Like it is really,
Mm.
really good. So that's
Yeah,
a
So
I
that
think we're
you're
going to
probably
talk
rubbing,
about, like, yes, for face
tell us
serum,
how you use it.
you want to combine the castor oil with another good face carrier oil with the essential oils, and that makes the amazing serum. Hey, Erin, I wanted to point out, so you started going over the things, whether it's more like if it's beauty, but when you get into more significant health support for any of the uterine cysts, fibroid cysts, um, like any women's health, cramps, but then also think about digestive issues, cramping. So what's the common denominator? It gets back to inflammation. And so it's very anti-inflammatory. So when you want to think of it that way, like why am I using it in this situation? It is an incredible vehicle to help your body start working with anti-inflammatory action. And then you're adding the essential oils that we know have those constituents that are going to help even more. And then you can put heat on top as well, and that helps drive it in. And so I know Aisha will talk, she has a great story, personal health story about that as well.
yeah, I can share that now if it's a good
Yeah,
time.
go ahead, Aisha.
Um, I mean, really, this remedy was huge for me. In 2010, I had to have a surgery, and I had a cyst removed off my right ovary and a lot of endometriosis out of my uterus. And it was a pretty traumatic surgery for me. And shortly after the surgery, within like the following summer, the cyst was regrowing. And I was kind of being monitored to possibly have to have that surgery a second time, which was horrifying because the first procedure did not go great. It was really hard on me. And so I got really aggressive with layering. At the time, it was the Zendicrin. I was using geranium and cypress, and I was doing nightly castor oil packs over my uterus and over my ovary, and I was being monitored with ultrasounds. And about 3 months later, I had reduced the size of the cyst to the point where it was no longer a concern. So that was huge. And at the time I was a fairly new oil user. So to have that kind of experience and see that that saved me from a surgery was huge. And also to see it being monitored by the ultrasound and to actually see it shrink was a pretty powerful experience. So I'm a believer. In 15 years, I'm still here talking about why we want to use these products.
That's awesome. Did you say, I'm sorry if I missed it, but did you use an essential oil with it?
Yes, I layered between Zendicrin. I also used geranium and cypress, and then I also used Clary Calm, and I just kind of like rotated between those. And I was doing the big cotton pack. I was doing the heat, and I was doing that nightly. And then with with the big piece of cotton, I would wrap it up and put it in the refrigerator every night. And then every night I would layer the oils on. I put the castor oil on the pack. I would lay it on my belly. It was kind of a big goopy mess. So one of the reasons I'm super excited about these belly button patches is that makes it so easy and not messy and much more doable, because doing the big castor oil pack, it is a little bit more of a commitment and it's hard to do on a more regular basis. And so I'm super psyched, and I've just started doing these belly button patches again to bring that back in is a more regular part of my healthcare routine.
Mhm. Do you have the patch link that you'll share with everybody, the one you like?
Yeah, we Florence got these really cute heart ones. Florence, you want to hold up your heart patch, and I got these little flower patches. And it's super easy. You just lie down. I put 3 drops of the Revitazine in my belly button, and then we topped it off with castor oil, and you stick on the patch. And Diane took a bath with it, and it stayed on. It stays on all day. I just left mine on overnight and then took it off in the morning, but it's just super lovely. I just one thing to be mindful of is if you buy these, they're inexpensive. Is as Erin said earlier, look for the organic ones because excuse me, you definitely want to be mindful of what you're bringing into your system, and you don't want those essential oils pulling any toxins out of the cotton into your system.
Thanks, Aisha. It's great to share. So there's a question in the chat about why do we need to use a patch? Could we just massage it in without a patch? You know, because that's something that I do because I just don't want to deal with the whole messy thing.
Yeah.
I just massage it into my belly. Some nights I have like a wrap that I put on and I do heat, but some nights I just massage it into my belly.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it. Is there any reason that you want to cover it?
It's just kind of like the good, better, best. It's just when you do those packs, you are saturating that pack. And then every time you reuse it, you're adding that's we say about 2 tablespoons of new oil. So it's sitting over your whole abdomen, and then you have a hot pad or a heating pad. So it's just a lot more, and it's a continual dose and we say for half an hour to an hour. So it's kind of like a treatment. It's like getting a massage
Yeah, I
versus
just
just massaging on the oils. You get the oil, you massage it in and on. That's great. I mean, that's a lot. I personally, the way I've been getting my castor oil recently is I have the last 2 years I have a sauna. So I have a ritual where I have 2 little bags, these ones that are like 8 by 4 of essential oils, and I bring them out with my bottle, and I'm so excited for this new castor oil. But I have a roller like Aisha's, and we keep filling it up, and we bring it to the sauna, and we roll all the places in the sauna that we want to with the castor oil, and then we put the essential oils with it. And we do that on the first round. And you do 2 or 3 rounds with the sauna, and then you do the cold plunge or rinse off and get back in, and those are the rounds. And so you really let your body go through, the sauna is the heating pad. So that's an easy way. And by the end of the sauna, um, I'm just all smooth and it feels great. It feels amazing. Like I don't really, there's no rubbing off. It's just absorbing in and stuff. So that's another great way to do it.
I also want to add that if you look, they have patches for different body parts. So there's breast patches, there's larger patches for your liver, or if you have a joint that you need to cover. Um, so just keep in mind there's a lot more options than just that belly button patch. And then that way you can really target the area that you need to treat.
Yeah,
and to
thanks for
add
bringing
to
that.
that, I was just going to say that there's the disposable like idea of the old packs that Josie was talking about. So that was the bigger area that Aisha was talking about, depending on where you want to go. There's also, I looked up organic, like bamboo. You want to look for linen, organic cotton, and there's reusable packs that you can buy as well, and then probably just wash them.
Yes, so I just put a link in the chat and maybe we'll include it in the email. And it's actually a friend of mine's business, and she makes different wraps for different body parts. And her story has to do with thyroid issues. So she actually has a wrap for the thyroid, and like Aisha said, the breast. So remember the anti-inflammatory attributes of the castor oil. So anywhere on your body that you're dealing with inflammation as the cause, you could put it there. And there are lots and lots of tools to help with that wrapping aspect. And I love the idea of going to the sauna with the castor oil body. So we've got, I just want to review, we have, I think when in doubt, what I'm hearing, when in doubt, put castor oil in your belly button, because that's going to be great for the nervous system. It'll access your digestion, and that'll be a good treatment for your body. If you're having specific issues in your belly area or your womb or your knee or your shoulder or your breast or your thyroid, you could put castor oil to those specific areas. And then we have the beauty aspects of castor oil. So great for hydrating our skin, great for reducing the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. It's great for growing hair, so putting it on your lashes or your eyebrows. A lot of people like to do a scalp treatment. So before you're going to wash your hair, you could rub in castor oil and rosemary, and it'll help your hair to grow thicker and longer and more luscious. Is there anything that we're missing, or does anybody else have cool testimonies and experiences with castor oil that you want to share? We have a question in the chat. Do we think it would help with bulging discs in the spine? Absolutely. Anything that's causing pain or has inflammation. I was sharing
I like the
earlier
idea of these guys with the spine, because with the bigger packs and stuff, like that would be the logistical limitation, sort of lying on it, and then the castor oil, having it on your back, it's just a lot. Versus it would be really interesting to be doing these nightly and daily, rotating and putting them in on the spinal areas. I think that's really kind of interesting.
That's cool. And symphony of the cells with castor oil.
For sure.
If you had a friend, you could trade off. I could imagine a beautiful treatment where you're lying on the massage table or the bed, and your friend is doing symphony of the cells with castor oil. And then you get a big flannel and then heating pads, and you lay there for like an hour. I would probably fall into deep sleep. And then you switch. It would be so lovely. Anybody else have some castor oil stories?
There's a question from Rebecca. Erin, do you wash the castor oil out of your hair or wash it later after the treatment?
Oh, yes. So, well, I'm a curly haired girl, so I only wash my hair about once a week. So what I would do is on wash day is a whole thing for me. So on wash day, I would massage castor oil into really my scalp with the rosemary. I could certainly wrap it up and go in the sauna if I wanted it to be extra, or otherwise I just leave it in there while I do my morning routine. And then when I go to take a shower, I'm shampooing the castor oil out. I could also put it in the night before bed and let it be in there while I sleep. Wrap it up so it doesn't get the oil all over your sheets. But yes, you're definitely shampooing the castor oil out, and it takes a little extra shampoo to get that castor oil out.
I would say whenever we think of rosemary for hair and the scalp, I would also put cedarwood in there.
Oh yeah, or arborvitae.
Yeah, but the rosemary and cedarwood are really nice together, and they're both like the premier oils for
hair growth.
Yeah, hair growth.
You could also do the root to tip serum, and I think I love that blend, and I think I might just get a bigger bottle and add castor oil to it too.
That's a good idea, yes. And other things to think of for the scalp would be geranium helps to balance out sebum production. So if you have an over oily scalp or an over dry scalp, geranium is going to help to balance that out. If you're dealing with any fungal infection in your scalp, look to tea tree. If you have kids age in school, we got lice last year. Oh, and it's such a pain in the butt, but the best thing for lice is essential oils. And I used olive oil, but if I ever got it again, I might consider the castor oil. And so different scalp issues could be helped by different essential oils there.
Now, Florence is asking about vaginal support. So this is a good question because, of course, we love layering the castor oil on top of the uterus and the ovaries and amazing for cramps and just vaginal health. But are you asking about internal use, Florence? And if so, what does Dr. Josie have to say about that?
I don't know. I haven't heard of that. I mean, it's interesting thought in terms of for dryness and just tissue support.
I remember Dr. Mika saying
Yeah.
that her hormone blend, she'll rub it, which is castor oil and oils, she'll rub it on her breasts or armpits, and then she just goes ahead and rubs some in her vagina, and she likes
Yeah,
it.
yeah, you just kind of get a good amount on your finger and go up.
Yeah.
But I would say yes. I think that's going to be a very supportive nourishing oil. Mm-hmm.
You know, Dr. Josie, I have another question. I was talking to a friend and he said he was recommended it for cholesterol reduction by his
Hmm.
naturopath. Have you heard anything about that? Doing
Hmm.
castor oil packs for the liver specific?
Well, in that respect, yeah, no, I haven't, but that makes sense in terms of the whole just increasing and helping the bile production and the liver in all that it does. And so you you would see as a byproduct some better liver function, which is going to see some better cholesterol.
Yeah, I love it. So I think the big take home here is use the castor oil.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Yes, yes. And Rebecca's reminding us that it's going to be great for breast health. So massaging it preventatively into the breast tissue, but also using those packs if you are dealing with something in the breast tissue.
You know, because after a mastectomy, yes. And you know, some of the packs online that are just like not adhesive but cotton are just like little circles like this, and they're meant for using right on the breasts.
I love it for cuticle support. So I'll
Mm.
rub it into my cuticles at night, and I often have really dry cuticles, and it helps to moisturize them.
I'm gonna try that. I use whatchamacallit, Correct X, but I have a feeling castor oil is gonna be better in the winter, right?
Yeah, it's great. My
Mm.
cuticles look much healthier and happier.
Yeah. And with the Yarrow Palm, maybe I'll do Yarrow Palm as well.
Anybody else have
Something,
questions or
everyone.
comments?
Has anyone done this yet?
Is that Revidesign?
Sure is. Let's see. It's definitely more mild than doing
Okay.
that with Xenocrin. Yeah. I mean, you know, it's a naturopathic herbal forward blend, but I think that's doable for people. What would make it a little but just do it in the little shot glass with water. You know, but it's always better to make up a gel cap and put a little bit of coconut oil or olive oil or something in there when you're actually taking it. Uh,
Now, would it taste good as a tea? Because I like to do the Zendocrine with a little honey in water.
yeah, if you liked the Zendocrine as a tea before, you'll like this.
Oh, nice. So should we talk a little bit about the plant spirit medicine aspect of castor oil?
Yeah.
And then we have a challenge for everybody.
Yes.
So I love to think about the plants, and I know some of you do as well, from a plant spirit connection. And all that means is looking at metaphors in the way the plant grows. A great example of that is when you look at a tree, how its root system can look like our lungs. and the circulatory system of our lungs, and relating that to, oh, I wonder like if that means that the tree plant is good for our lungs. And there's other connections like that that you can see with plants. And so with the castor oil, I was noting that it grows in very dry conditions. One of the things that the farmers like about it is it doesn't need irrigation. And so then you can look at, well, isn't it interesting that it's so hydrating for us? It must retain moisture, and it's kind of doing the same thing when it interacts with the nature and the plant. And then when you look at the actual picture of it, so if you look at the picture of the castor oil, which they have that on the Source to You website, and I put it through on the chat in Zoom if you're here, you'll notice that the seed pod is protected by these big bright red spikes. And so then we can think about, what does that bring up for us metaphorically from a plant spirit medicine attribute? And to me, what comes up is there's something really precious in there that's being protected and maintained. So just interesting for you to complement or contemplate yourself, is to look at the castor plant, think about where it's grown, think about how nature's interacting with it, and then what learnings or wisdoms can appear for you that the plant spirit is maybe trying to communicate. Ariana, is there anything that's come to mind for you as you've been looking at castor oil? Because I know you're into that too.
I am into that. I love your take of that. Something that else that came up from the spikes on the outside, I loved what you were saying, Erin, about protecting something on the inside, is also just like castor oil's got your back, right? Like it is going to protect you. It's going to protect, and you just said this, but it's going to protect what's on your inside. It's going to bring that moisture back in. It's gonna, like, if we think about when we're in the desert, what do we want? We want sunblock, we want hats, we want protection, right? And so I feel like that is exactly, it's like this great protector of us. And I love hearing all these different ways to bring it in. I'm definitely going to use it in more ways than I have been. But I love talking about this, Erin. And I also think the seed pod, even though it's very spiky, is quite beautiful. And I was also thinking about healthy boundaries, right? And many of us are learning healthy boundaries, and healthy boundaries are beautiful. We want healthy boundaries, right? That's such a great, especially for women, but for all peoples. Um, it's such a great protector and energetic space. So you could bring this in too if you're working on healthy boundaries and energetically, if you're a highly sensitive empath, I would bring castor oil in with the oils as well for that.
Oh, and you know what connection you just made for me is oftentimes digestive issues in the gut it's how we're dealing or processing our empathic gifts, how we're taking in the world. And so you'll see a lot of people who are intuitive or have some of these more empathic gifts, if we're not processing those correctly, we'll be bloated, or we might have stomach issues, or we might have uterine cysts or fibroids. So I think it's kind of beautiful that castor oil's plant is showing this protective quality of something precious inside. And then it helps us to deal with those stomach issues that can come up when maybe we're not protecting ourselves, which are the precious instruments of, like, what comes up is God's love or universal healing power. And so it's so beautiful how we connect with the plants and nature to really heal our bodies, but also understand the spiritual and energetic components to the different diseases that we might come across.
I love that. And I just also thought of, I haven't done it yet, but I actually think I'm going to try tonight the digestion in the belly button and see how that feels. So maybe if you don't want as much, I've always used it more for detox, but I also am a person that has gotten migraines, and I've, to be honest with you guys, I need to detox, but I have to do it really gently in my system because like I'm also like a mom and I have a job and I'm like I don't really have the day to wake up with a migraine if I can avoid it, right? So um I love the Revitazine because it feels gentler to me than the Zendicrine did. And then I also love bringing in like digestion or maybe some other oils too that are going to help a real gentle detox and like digestion, like you were saying, Erin.
Yeah, and you're bringing, oh yeah, Diane, go ahead.
Yeah, I love that you guys were talking about the plant spirit because I've been thinking a lot about, the belly button application and thinking about it from a Chinese medicine perspective, and that is something in our on our conception vessel, and it's called the forbidden. Like you cannot needle that point, and so we've historically used moxibustion in that point, commonly for digestive issues. But I was looking at the Chinese kind of more the spiritual aspect of that point. I have a great book that I'm referring to. And Ariana, like you were talking about this protective, you and Aaron were talking about the protective thing. And one of the names for that point is God's Palace Gate. And the idea is that it's more of a watchtower on either side of the palace. So it is kind of watching over, it's protective of our spirit. And that's also like the entry exit point of our spirit, right? It's our umbilical cord. It's what we come into life with, and it's what we die with. And so it's really good for people who, so the oil itself, it's called Bimajer in Chinese medicine, and it moves qi. So it definitely is a qi mover. So really good for that digestive stuff. Why it would be working for pain and inflammation and for constipation. And also, it's called the spirit cord, deals with nourishment of the spirit, especially when somebody is feeling a lack thereof or feeling very deficient in their spirit. They're feeling worn down. They're feeling that their vital energy, life force is low. So this is a really good combination because it's going to help bring that spirit back using the castor oil in the belly button.
Mm,
Oh, that's
I
so
love
cool.
that. Diane, thank you for that. That just is such great
Yeah.
info.
Yeah.
I think, oh my
I'll try
God,
to
for
put something
anyone,
together so it's more cohesive, but I just got
I
excited about that.
I think that's wonderful too, like this idea of cleansing in the spring and the fall, as you were talking, Di, like that lack of resilience and that worn down. And I've been hearing that a lot in just everything with going back to school, the change of the seasons, moms, like there's that little bit, that sense of kind of like, oh,
There's a lot of grief in this season too
yeah,
in the fall,
grief.
like
There's just all
processing
of that
grief.
transitional change emotions, and so that supporting ourselves is wonderful. Did you have something more, Ari? I have something I want to say,
oh, I
but
did. Yeah. One thing I was going to say is I would also think of using it as a chest rub for
mm,
any lung stuff. And I was going to say,
mhm.
what a great ally for anyone who suffers from long COVID, because that is such a state of like that depletion and trying to get your body built back up after, or, trying to recover from pneumonia or any kind of deep um,
Yes.
thing that has hit your system so hard. So what you were saying, Diane, with just that properties of how it's been used traditionally sounds so good.
I also wanted to share quickly that we have all the nerve endings in our belly button, and there's also a connection to the vagus nerve. So it's also going to really help relax the parasympathetic nervous system.
Yeah.
Can I give a couple user tips? I don't know if you guys saw me. I just did my first belly button application while we're here, and I have a couple insights for everybody. Um, so if you are new to essential oils and castor oil, then yes, follow the instructions that they give, where I think they say use 1 to 3 drops of castor oil on the thing and maybe 1 or 2 drops of the essential oil. But if you've used them for a little while, then I'm gonna say that's not enough castor oil. So when I just did it, I have it, and it feels great. And the adhesive's there, and it's interesting. The ones I have, I love it. There's like a little bit of the that kind of more intense pad band-aid that's covered in some kind of silicone thing that's a circle, and then but the inner part of the circle is just like pure organic cottony. That thing can soak up some oil. All right, y'all. So look at this. Here's the bottle. And Claudine, when did she do, was that a small call with us on a, yeah, oops. So we need to, Claudine had a great tip, which was, so here's the top. It comes in this flip top like this, and it's, as you can see, it's a pretty big opening, right? It's like the size of my finger. Um, she took this off and then she put on a squirt top. And
Good.
that's a cool idea.
Pump.
A pump, yes. But I'm saying I just worked with this, and when I had, so here's the outline of the adhesive that's now on my belly button. I I did a whole thing with a dripping of like a big circle of oil 3 times. And I each time I did it, and then I added 1 to 2 drops of Revitazine, and then I was like, yep, this cotton pad could take more oil. Put another one. Yep, this cotton pad. So, because I've done a lot of castor oil packs over the years, and sort of that idea of you're saturating that puppy, and you're giving yourself a good. And so I would also say get a good amount on your fingers and rub it first into your belly button with some of the essential oil. And you could kind of, I think next time for myself, I'm gonna pack it a little bit. I'm gonna get the essential oil all the way in my belly button. It's a little because I have an innie or whatever. There's some room in there. And then I'm gonna saturate that pad with about 3 good dollops, and then I'm putting it on. So that's me. That's someone who's been using it for a while. So that's like all day or all night. You want to kind of think about getting as much oil in that situation that fits where you're going to comfortably get a seal as you can.
You know,
That's
Dr.
my
Josie,
take home. Do other
uh,
people agree, not agree?
well,
That's my,
Diane and I, you have
yeah.
to lie down to do this. We
Oh,
did it on each other, but you could certainly do it on yourself. Is we just drop the essential oil right into the belly button, and then we
okay.
fill the belly button up with the castor oil and let it overflow a little bit, and then put
Uh-huh.
the patch on top. So I
All
think you
right.
can do it
All
either
right.
or. There's also, okay, a couple tips here. One is to get a pump for the bottle, like Dr. Josie said. Somebody else, you could put it in a little dropper bottle too. So as you're dispensing it, it's a little easier. And we're almost out of time, and we have a challenge to announce. But I want to check in, Aaron, Dr. Josie, Diane, Ariana. I just loved everything shared. Is there anything else we want to share before we go over the challenge and wrap up the call?
I have
I
a
just had
quick,
something to, oh, go ahead, Ariana.
oh, it's okay. Just quick tip. I have really dry feet, cracked heels, and the castor oil is so yummy on the bottoms of the feet too.
I just had something to add to the challenge. So you could announce the challenge, and then I want to bring in a little
Oh, Aaron,
meditative
you can
plant
also
spirit.
announce the challenge if you want. Go for it.
Okay, so we are all going to do a month long of a nightly castor oil sticker on our belly button. So we're all going to do it and see how we feel. So you need to get your stickers, which we've put some in the chat, and we'll put that in the email too, in case you're not live on Zoom. You need your bottle of doTERRA castor oil. And then we're doing it with Revitazine, right? Is that our part of our challenge? And so you'll need a bottle of that too. And we're going to put this patch on every night as a community for the next 30 days. And and see how that goes. And we can report back in the Facebook group, Essential Wellness Facebook group, and with each
Well,
other.
we're going to report back next first month, right? We're going to do it the 15th to the 15th. And so that'll give us time to order it and get the stuff. And then on next month, the first Monday of the month, we can all kind of be coming on and talking about it a little bit in the beginning.
Yeah. So you order your products right now. And then by the 15th is when we should all have everything. So it's October 6th right now. October 15th, we should all have our stuff and we can start doing the nightly patch.
Yeah, just think about where are you at with your sleep, your bowel movements, your digestion, your overall inflammation in your body, your nervous system, your kind of sense of anxiety of kind of, oh, where's all of that? You can do 1 to 5, you do a little rating for yourself, because then we're gonna, at the end of the month, we're gonna look back and see shifts.
And then here's my invitation with some of the things Diane shared and Ariana and what we were talking about with the spiritual side of it is when you're putting that patch on and you're using the castor oil and you're using your essential oil, also think about just asking either God, the universe, spirit guides, the plants, whatever you kind of believe in that's a protective force in your life, to help you release any energies that you have picked up throughout the day that don't belong to you. A little extra bit of that, and see if that practice where we're including the plant medicine, we're including the oils, and we're including a little bit of intentional prayer to just cleanse our body. Like detoxing is about detoxing our insides, but it's also about detoxing the energies. And I think we can all agree that the world is a pretty intense place right now. And if you spend any time on the news or social media, you're likely picking up energies and thoughts and feelings that aren't yours and that you don't need to carry on. So just a little invitation to bring that into your practice.
Oh, this is so rich. I love it. Okay, we're almost at the top of the hour. You know, we've had a lot of calls about castor oil, so we do have some other resources about this, but I think this has been the juiciest one yet. A couple things I want to point out is there was a big talk about castor oil at our convention. And if you are a member of the Essential Wellness Facebook page, if you look at the featured posts, I included the entire presentation on that post, and there's basically different recipe ideas for all kinds of different situations. So I highly recommend going in and reviewing that. If you already have your castor oil and you have your patches, you can start now. You don't have to wait till the 15th, so just get started now. But we wanted to give everybody time to order your new products and get settled. I will then also on the Essential Wellness page, Facebook page, put a post up with the challenge. And then you can go in and also comment and share on that thread so we can learn together and hear how everybody's doing and just continue the conversation about it. So I'm super, super excited. And the last thing that I also want to add is Erin was touching on a little bit. We really are living in a time where daily detox has become really necessary, and not just physically, but also emotionally, and especially with the current times that we're living with. There's just a bombardment of so much toxicity coming from everywhere. So this will be a wonderful, nourishing practice to take on and also to just connect us to community. So, with that, again, what an amazing conversation, everybody. So rich, so good. I just love our community so very much. So, we will be back next Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time with our next episode, which is Oils A to Z. We are going to be featuring the Serenity Restful Blend, which is also our free product of the month. So when you do 125 PV rewards order, you will get a Serenity for free. And this is our go-to blend for sleep and relaxation. We also have 10% off the Serenity soft gels, and we really recommend using those together. They are the top-notch sleep product. They include tart cherry, which helps with natural melatonin production. I take them every night. They are fantastic. And they really help promote a deep and restorative sleep. So we cannot wait to hear from Ariana and her team about the energetics, the Chinese medicine perspective, and all of the goodness that we have in that Serenity blend. If you are loving this podcast, and we hope you do, please invite a friend or share the recording. You can invite them to join us live. And we have the recordings on YouTube, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. And this is a wonderful way to help grow our community and help spread this amazing information. So until then, stay well, stay connected, and don't forget to sign up for the weekly drop at essentialwellness.life so you never miss an update. Thank you all so very much, everyone, and have a beautiful day, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.